What am I left with? I never in my wildest dreams thought I would say this publicly, but my team is going to go as far as Micah Parsons carries my team. Micah! I have never seen anything like Micah Parsons as a rookie. I don't even remember LT, the great I'm not talking about LaDainian Tomlinson. I'm talking about that guy, Lawrence Taylor. I don't remember him as a rookie wreaking quite this much havoc. No. But all of a sudden, this has turned from Dak's team to Micah's team. Overnight, I sat back yesterday and said, that's it. My defense is now my offense. Only one team had Micah. All of a sudden, the Dak attack has turned into Micah's Marauders because they just maraud all over the field.
Yes,
they just take the ball away like crazy. Look what they're doing.
You can cut out that other sheet.
Hey, yo, aim. Yeah. Run it up, Blondo. Run it up, Blondo.
Hey. I'm from Texas, where we still riding swangers and put diamonds in our necklace. Pour drink inside my lemonade till it look like a Pepsi. See, I come from the D where we got checks and we be flexing. If you ain't from my state, then you should know don't fuck with Texas. Hey, we always strapped, we keep our weapons. My mama from the 8, she slowed it down for me at 7. Used to think Pimp C was a god before he went to heaven. I knew what pushing P was before Gunna even said it. Hey, C0 taught me keep my weapon and never trust a nigga or a bitch cause it's expected. No killers from the country, they ride horses and throw settlements. Got niggas in.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with week 2 of Ball and Chain. We're here, week 1, hot out of the gates. I mean, we talked about the triple header matchup of the week, and they did not disappoint. It's time to get into them. Brian, we got to catch the folks up. For the first time this season, we're opening up the paper. What's at the top of the page there?
What's the top of the page of the B&C headline? Oh my God, the paper's hot. They're ready. They're off the presses. I got them right here. They're all right here. And you know what we're going to start with, Cooper?
What's that?
I don't even know yet. I didn't even pick one. They're all so good. We are going to pick, first of all, right at the top. As you know, we are a bunch of Michigan men. The headline, payday. A lot of people have been in contract negotiations. Ayuk, you know about that. You got Jamar Chase. He doesn't even have his deal yet. But the only money I'm concerned about is the guy that's kicking the football in San Francisco. Jake Money Moody scores 26 points. Not that the MIC Child Killers / Won't You Be My Neighbors needed it at all, but holy shit, that guy can kick a football.
26 points.
That's absolutely absurd.
Brian, phenomenal headline. Brian, kind of building off of where you started there, my headline, almost a PSA, if you will. Be careful who you call ugly in high school.
Oh, my goodness.
Monday Night Football. Had you told me that the 1-1 Christian McCaffrey was out for the week, I wouldn't have put money on any wins there. And yet, Jordan Mason comes out, puts on an absolute clinic. It was a magical night. It was the most carries and yards he'd had in any game since high school.
Since high school? Oh, I didn't even know that.
And he played at Georgia Tech, which is not a terrible football program.
Get this, they just beat Florida State.
Better than Florida State, I was going to say. 28 carries by Jordan Mason is the most by any running back in the Shanahan era. Absolutely incredible. 147 yards a catch. The most.
McCaffrey played all year last year. What the hell?
Yeah, just an incredible game there. A really phenomenal pickup. Brett showing some of that maturity I talked about last week and being able to make moves on the fly and really adapt to the players he has in front of him.
Helping that credibility. Next up, Cooper, you did so well with your headline. I'm going to jump to your game. And guess what? I'm not even going to talk. My headline is Luka Doncic. Can you guess why?
Please.
Because, Cooper, do you know his jersey number by chance?
I can't. I don't off the top of my head.
77. 77. A certain score put up by the Fry Hogs that week. Last week.
What the segment?
And he got absolutely triple-doubled by your triple threat wide receivers, Tyreek Hill Cooper Kupp, and Mike Evans, all three of which scored more than his whole team combined.
Yikes.
A bad look, a tough look for the kid. Puka out. Good luck with that nanner.
Brian, moving on to a little bit more somber of a headline in the league.
Oh, dear. Don't.
Blacked out at the after party. Yeah. Sunday evening, about 6 p.m., that had a nice buzz coming into the party. Sunday scaries be damned. You know, he looked good. His running backs combined for 60 points. 3 touchdowns from Saquon, 160 yards from Mixon. Brian football team rolled into that after party and took 5 shots as soon as they walked in the door. And you want to know what they were drinking? They were drinking Jameson. 5 shots of Jameson Williams. 5 catches, 121 yards, and a touchdown in the overtime win against the Rams. And to top it off, the Jets, like a nice packet of liquid IV, do just enough with the Monday night recovery to secure you the dub in week 1.
Absolutely insane game, one of the hardest fought games I've ever won. You go to the bench. It's not your time. J-Mo, step up, J-Mo, and he did. Absolutely.
Wow.
I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that Jets and San Francisco game a little bit more.
Please.
My headline: career change. You figure for a guy who works on airplanes for a living, he could have seen this jet disaster. He could have seen it coming. Greg Zuerlein was absolutely lying on the field. Put up 1 point for the kid. He needed, 5 points to win? In a week that kickers were going absolutely insane.
Crazy.
The Steelers won their football game with 6 field goals and no touchdowns. And Logan couldn't get more than 1 point?
Gabe went out there. Gabe we trust, that is, not Gabe Davis himself, scored 140-some points. So really a respectable first week for the sophomore manager, but just not enough there at the end.
They're both top 4 in scoring. That's just a bad beat. That's what you call that.
Now, Brian, we spoke before sitting down in the studio here today, and I talked about kind of warming up the headlines. It's week 2 of the season. We can't be tossing mind melters and brain benders in there quite yet.
Too late.
And yet, when inspiration strikes, you kind of just got to run with it.
Listen, when you put the pedal to the metal, ball and chain keeps rolling. That's just that's what we do, all right?
My final headline of week 1 of the Generic Fantasy League: Kate Meter's sales skyrocket. Kate Meter is a contemporary romance author of hockey romance, firefighter romance, and sizzling romantic comedies. Her #1 best-selling series, The Rookie Rebels. And let me say, we've got some rookie rebels in the league that fall into 2 main factions.
Wow.
On this hand, we've got Maserati Marv, we've got Caleb Williams, who just stumbled into the league. I mean, 1 catch for 4 yards. Caleb Williams, 7 points, 93 yards in the air. You know who hasn't had trouble acclimating to the league is John's bench.
Oh, absolutely.
Ladd already looking like the wide receiver 1 for the Chargers. 15 points, the most targets on the team. Brian Thomas Jr., 12 points. He had a Wendy's 4 for 4 on targets and catches with a touchdown. But both of those players were sitting on the bench.
Big.
To his credit, I'll say, even with that, he put up a respectable 114 to get the win over a stuttering Swifties team.
He did.
Which, for the record, that 114 was enough to top the points for in the East. Would have been 5th in the West. So that's a conversation for another day.
You know what I think it is? I think I leave the East, and all of a sudden the East, the quality.
You're not welcome on the
all of a
West
sudden
side.
I come to the West. It's like it's a powerhouse division, and all of a sudden the East just crumbles. It's a bit. It's like the West or the East or whatever it is in the Big Ten. There's a lot of shit that happened before the start of this week here.
Yes,
the
there is.
First use of the fab in the GFL to date happened. We did last night on Wednesday. We were recording on a Wednesday night here, and boy, were there some big spenders, should I say. Cooper, run me through some of those picks.
I'm going to let you take the headline on this one, the one that everyone wanted, the one that we knew was going to go. I'm going to talk about a few other smaller ones, kind of starting from the low on the scale.
Go on.
Gabe Davis, and Gabe We Trust picking up the Chargers defense special teams for $2. Gabe also picking up Tyler Bass, the kicker. He learned his lesson. $2. Won't You Be My Neighbors picked up Tyler Johnson, dropping Rico Dowdle for $24. I think a fair price there. Yourself and Brian Football Team picking up Alan Lazard, dropping Julio McLaughlin for $41. Myself picking up Tank Bigsby, seeing the equal carries with Clementine for $52.
Absolutely.
Mr. Moneybags over here, Caden, coming from dead last. You got to spend money to make money. And let me say, spending $220 on Wan'Dale Robinson is a risky financial investment, to say the least.
Listen, if you like your guy, go get your guy.
I can respect it.
Man.
If that was the only money he spent yesterday or this morning, I'd be fine with it. But it's not.
His other pickup was obviously Isaiah Likely for about $350. I need about $350. Anybody's ever seen South Park?
Stood above it looking down with his big red eyes.
Oh, it's so scary.
And I yelled, I said, "What do you want from us, monster?" And the monster bent down and said, "I need about $3.50.
What's $3.50?
$3.50.
Honestly, a good value, I feel, for him. David Njoku is out. That roster is decimated. He needs a superstar he can plug in now. And I think that's, you had that. If you're in his spot, you go high on him. I think you just had to.
Certainly. I think that was a great call. I mean, we had 6 managers, half the league bid on him, ranging anywhere from 186 to that winning bid of 350.
I said, "I ain't giving you no $3.50, you goddamn Loch Ness monster."
If Wan'Dale Robinson hits this week, we're all going to be looking like a bunch of fools on this show.
Lock it in. Now, Brian, I want to take a quick intermission to give a very rare shout out to our commissioner.
What?
For listening to the people about the time change of the waivers, within a couple hours, made the adjustment, fixed the league, also helped me with some technical issues where players weren't adding to rosters.
He what?
You can go back and check the league history. It's nothing scandalous. The team's the same.
Go on. I'll be speaking with the commissioner later. Go on.
Do not turn what is a rare moment of wholesomeness aimed towards James DeCamp into something controversial. That's not what this is about. This is about saying he gets a lot of flack. He takes it well for the most part. He's still kind of a pain in all of our you-know-whats. But hey, he did good today, and I got to give him credit for that.
Listen, all right, fine. It's always good to give a little bit of shout out for somebody for doing good. Sure. Cooper, I think it's time to just steamroll right on through into our matchup of the week here.
Hooray!
It's a big one.
Who are our headliners?
We've got Silly Willy versus Who Gives a Poop, formerly Waddle House.
Absolutely. Wow. 2 teams with something to prove here. Both starting 0-1. Man, that's high stakes.
Certainly. Neither of their seasons started the way they wanted them to. This game is currently projected 123-117 in favor of the Willies. I think Amon-Ra has a bit of a bounce-back game. Jake Ferguson is expected to play with a minor MCL sprain.
I don't know about that.
Sounds like a CMC repeat where coaches knew a few days ago. Someone lets it slip to the media. It's a bit of a controversy. At the end of the day, in my opinion, it comes down to the Lions-Tampa Bay game. I think Gibbs and Laporta for Who Gives a Poop edges them out 122-115.
Interesting. We both took the Waddle House or Who Gives a Shit last week, and it did not go well for us. And I really think that's the only key to the game. Who is he putting in his flex spot? Is it Keon Coleman? Is it J.K. Dobbins? I mean, hell, is it
It's got to
Jaden
be
Reed?
J.K.
Is it Jaden Reed? Who knows? That's the key to the game. If he plays the right guy, I think he wins, and I think he plays the right guy. I got JD winning 131-118.
Okay, high scoring from the kid.
Picked them both again. JD, you can't let us down again. You cannot keep making us look like fools on here.
I'm just going to keep calling red when we're playing Ride the Bus. You know, it's bound to hit sometime.
Welcome, all you listeners, and welcome, Florida Man, to our show. John, I hear that you've got a very important thing to tell us about.
I do. We've decided to take it up a notch in season 3 of the GFL this year. So instead of just a singular, beer pour is the punishment every week, we've decided to incorporate the wheel of punishment, or the wheel of pain, if you will.
If you may.
So each week, ball and chain, we will be spinning a wheel to determine what the punishment will be for the low scorer of this week.
Incredible.
Absolutely incredible.
I think we needed to test the mettle of our league managers, and I want to make sure that we all truly respect this league, and we want to be here. And if you want to be here, you're going to take your medicine, you're going to do your punishment if your team doesn't perform.
Yeah, good. That sounds good. John, why don't you show us what our losers looking at next week?
Let's see. Yeah, we will go ahead and pull up our prize wheel, and also get excited because although this week we are using a rudimentary browser
Not
prize.
even an ad blocker for ball and chain.
I don't even have an app. Oh, there it goes. We're good.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored, but going forward, we will be using a physical prize wheel that we can edit, so we can change the punishments. We come up with some more, so we'll run through them quickly. Your pour is the same as it was last year. You know, send a video pouring a beer over your head. Our second one, the soup shotgun. Many people are familiar with shotgunning a beer. So in this instance, if you land on soup shotgun, we will then spin a subsequent wheel to determine what your soup of choice will be, and you will need to shotgun said can of soup. Same rules.
I thought it was dealer's choice. That's even worse.
Oh, yeah. We'll have to keep them guessing. We've had some pushback with Instagram Live singing. We can adjust if necessary, but in general, the high-level theme would be doing something slightly embarrassing for a very short amount of time on Instagram Live. Next, we have Fruit Pledge. With this one, the loser would start with a small fruit, probably a berry of sorts, and they would need to keep it on them for the duration of the week that they are the loser. At any time, one of the other league members can call them out and say, I would like to see your fruit. And if they don't comply and show a picture of them with their fruit in 5 to 10 to 15 minutes, we should establish a time. Then they need to up their fruit size. And this continues until the end of the week, and we have a new loser.
As we should.
After that, we have Weatherman. So with this punishment, the lowest scoring player of the week will need to record a video each morning that week, giving us a nice weather forecast so we have an idea what to expect that week. And then finally, team name change. If you land on this one, the league gets to vote on a new team name that the loser will have to change their team to for the week. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and spin the wheel here and see what the punishment will be for next week's week 2 lowest scorer.
It could be us. It could be anybody. Oh, my God.
It could be anybody. That's
Let's
not
see.
how you spin it. Oh, that is a tough start.
Lagging? I can't see
Really?
Wow. Beginning with the soup
Right
gun.
away.
God.
Oh,
John,
there you have it. There you have it.
I propose we save the secondary spin for type of soup until Monday night, just to keep everyone on edge a little bit longer.
I like that a lot.
I would agree. I think we'll wait until we know who the loser is, and then we'll decide what soup they'll be.
That's bad.
Fantastic.
Hopefully they're sweating it out. Hopefully they're sweating.
This way, everyone's going to be on their toes going into the slate of games starting tomorrow. They're going to make sure their lineup is set for sure.
No one's
Absolutely.
seeing tomato soup and mailing it in this week. There's a lot on the line for that clam chowder.
That's tough. I mean, you'd really hate to see Caden mix banana with
Yeah, he's not going to want to have to go back to back on that.
Well, John, thank you for coming on up. As I understand it, it's going to be a weekly occurrence here, spinning this wheel for us.
We'll change the wheel as we go. We'll get our physical wheel in here, but we'll be a weekly segment here to determine the punishment for the upcoming week.
Love to see you. You look gorgeous, by the way.
Pleasure as always. Go Florida, man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's about all the time we have. Speaking of, aside from our lovely bonus segment this week.
The bonus segment. Look at that. The bonus segment.
Bonus segment. Now, Brian, we've been getting feedback that the episodes are long. Wow, you talk about too much. These Gen Z kids and their attention span is shorter than a goldfish. I don't like it, but I gotta acquiesce because ultimately the algorithm controls our lives. So we're just doing what we can to stay relevant. Show up on your For You page, get the clippable moments. With that being said, we're getting into the bonus segment. I watched back last week's lunch table draft. I gotta admit, I'm an honest man. It was pretty abysmal from the Tinglers.
Comments tore you apart.
Not great. And so because of that, I'm gonna turn the tables on you a little bit. This one's gonna be more of a game show type interaction. A street interview. Those are real big on TikTok.
Those are big.
Double it, give it to the next person kind of thing. Brian, I'm going to give you 5 players, and you're going to blind rank them against each other.
All right. I will do that.
I want the couple simple things here. All of these players were rostered on a team in the generic fantasy league in week 1, so you don't have to be concerned about it being a true nobody, a player you've never heard of. And all of them are flex-eligible players, meaning they are a running back, a wide receiver, or a tight end. No QBs, no kickers, no defense special teams.
I know how the game works.
I'm just letting you know.
Sorry, I'm amped up. Go ahead.
Are you ready? We're going to get the graphic up here on screen, put it in post, whatever. You are ranking these players on their full season outlook. This is not specific to week 2, not about their performance in week 1. Player rating as a whole for the season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
Player number 1. 1 being the best, 5 being the worst. Brian Thomas Jr.
Brian Thomas, full season projection here? Projection.
Full season projection.
I'm putting Brian Thomas Jr. at the 4.
The 4. Okay. Next up, we have James Cook, running back for Buffalo.
I'm high on James Cook, but I don't know who you have in this list. You know what? I'm going to stick by my guns, what I said in the last episode. I'm going to put him at the 2.
At the 2. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we have recently acquired Zay Flowers.
All right, he fits in that 3 spot. He's going at 3.
It is. We have 1 and 5 still open.
I know.
At the 4th player, you choose where he's going. Wide receiver from Cleveland, not Amari Cooper. We've got the guy, Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, he's going in 5. He's going in 5.
I expected as much. And Brian, that means at your number 1 player out of the 5 we have here is going to be the running back out of Cincinnati, Chase Brown.
I should have had James Cook up there. Damn it. That's close. Well, overall, not a horrible list. Just maybe Chase Brown or Brown. Maybe he'll go.
You heard it here first, folks. Go pick up Chase Brown if he's available in your league. Otherwise, we're going to be here, as always, next week on Ball and Chain. Thank you for listening in, and have a good one.
Have a good one.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Jenny. Good morning.
I know. Tom Brady should retire. And Aaron Rodgers is now the MVP. And Dak is still in a slump. And I don't care because all that really matters is how about them Cowboys?
No.
Merry Christmas to us.